It's BBC Children in Need, and it's next week. So what we're doing in the build-up, apart from doing our best to support your fundraising efforts by mentioning everything that's going on, is telling you where the money is spent round here. On organisations like Readipop, the Reading charity Readipop. BBC Radio Berkshire's Katie Tyler has been to find out more about Readipop, first of all with the Executive Director, Amy Hodder.
Readipop is a Reading-based music charity, and we run a range of programmes that reach the more marginalised members of the community. So we have a very big youth programme that forms part of that, which is funded by Youth Music and Children in Need. Children in Need in particular fund two of our projects within AAA, Access All Areas, our youth programme, and that is our In the Mix project, which happens at the Weller Centre on the Amersham Road once a week, and also our one-to-ones music-based mentoring for the most hard-to-reach young people in Reading.
Yeah, you run so many brilliant projects in our area. Just to touch on, first of all, those music mentoring sessions, how do young people get involved in those?
So generally, young people are referred to us by referral partners, whether that be a school, Bright Futures for Children through the council, or their parents. But we have actually discovered since the pandemic that a lot of young people have kind of fallen out of the system. So a lot of young people are not in education, employment, or training. So we now allow any young person to refer themselves. They can essentially just pop us an email and find out more, and then we'll try and book them in for some sessions.
Brilliant. And what does it mean for children and young people to get involved in the projects you run at Readipop?
With the young people that we're reaching, I always say that music is not the primary outcome. The primary outcome is always the personal and social differences that we end up making. So young people will come in with very little confidence, and they'll leave having shared their own creations with their peers, but also they'll be able to take it home and celebrate it themselves. So we see huge boosts in confidence when they're here, and they just like blossom into different young people.
Why is music such a powerful tool when it comes to improving young people's lives?
We find with our young people that they use their music as therapy. So they'll come into the studio, and whether it's through music or lyrics, they're able to express their lived experiences, to chat about the things that they've been through, and they wouldn't necessarily talk to anyone about that. But they're always happy to rap about it, or to sing about it, or to make music about it. And it is just such a release.
And the funding that you receive from Children in Need, how much of a difference does that make?
Oh, it's completely invaluable. We honestly could not do the work that we do without Children in Need. We've been so lucky to be supported by them for many, many years now. We're now on our second round of 3 years of funding. So that means that we'll be in the Weller Centre for another couple of years, and we'll continue to be able to expand our one-to-ones across Reading.
We'll hear much more about Readipop a bit later in the show. If you are involved in an organisation that gets Children in Need funding, please make sure we're featuring you on the show in the run-up to Children in Need, because it just encourages people to be as generous as they can. If you are raising money for us, first of all, thank you. Make sure we know about it so we can mention it on the show. 0808 100 5100, andrew.peach@bbc.co.uk. 7:20, Carla's watching the roads. BBC Radio Berkshire, Children in Need next week. If you're fundraising for us, please let us know what you're doing so we can mention it. We're also going to feature some of the organisations in Berkshire who've had Children in Need money. Organisations like Readipop, which is a charity in Reading which runs musical projects for young people, including a Friday night music club on Trafford Road. Katie Tyler has been to see them to find out a bit more about the work that Readipop do, and she's been talking to Abby and Harrison, who run the sessions.
So Fridays, they're completely participant-led, the same as all our projects. So we have 8 or so young people come along each week, like regular ones. Yeah. And it's split into a recording studio and a live room, and we just make music with them. Whatever they want to do, we make. And make fools of ourselves, basically, as well, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much.
And what can people do on a Friday night? What sort of music can they make? Is it rapping, singing?
It's absolutely anything. It's completely up to who comes along, and like Harrison said, it's all participant led. So we get usually quite a lot of rappers, and they usually come into the studio with us. We also have a band room for anybody learning instruments who just want to have a jam with other musicians, just want to even chat to other musicians. So literally any type of music you can think of, we will try and accommodate in our space.
And do you see a big difference between when people start coming to the club and when they've been coming for a while?
Yeah, it's like a little community now. So they come along and sometimes they don't really want to talk to anyone. And now they have their own group chat and they talk to each other. They're more confident, like they're getting jobs themselves. So they come leap and bounds every time, don't they? So
what is it that you think is so powerful about music?
When you write music, it's a state of vulnerability, and I think that's quite a good thing for young people, and they don't even realise that they're doing it. It's like another language, it's another way of communicating, especially for kids who find it hard to communicate with each other. Music just puts you in that vulnerable state, and that's why I think they've become such great friends over time throughout our sessions, just because they all love music. It's like a link that binds them all together, which is really great.
And you're involved in some of the other projects that Readipop do. Tell me a bit more about those.
So we have In the Mix, which is at the youth club at Amersham Road. So we just sort of come along with a PA and let the kids connect their phones to it. And eventually they just start doing rap battles and stuff. Or they just come in and start talking to us, asking us how we're doing, as well as us asking how they're doing. So it is literally just a place for them to come and be creative without the forced nature of being in a studio. Do you know what I mean? It's their, we go into their space, so they feel more comfortable.
Do you ever get involved in the rap battles yourselves?
Harrison often does, yes, and I have to control him. No, sometimes, yeah, we do often do lyrical games with them, and yeah, no, but it's usually up to them. I think we're not the best rappers.
What do you love about being involved with Readipop?
Oh, everything. It's changed my life completely. So it changes. Everyone that's involved is happy with what they're doing, and it's the kids' improvement and them caring about what they're doing is what's amazing. And then seeing them come from the lowest place to then go into ACM or whatever is amazing.
More about Readipop to come later. The organisations that have benefited from Children in Need to come on the show over the next few days. Now, Victoria, good morning. Children in Need is next week. And obviously we'll do everything we can to support your fundraising efforts. So if you are doing something at school or at work, if you're raising money for us, please let me know all about it on 0808 100 5100. Also telling you where the money's being spent, because loads of organisations around here are supported by Children in Need donations, including Readipop, which is a charity in Reading. They run projects, musical projects for younger people, including a Friday night music club. And Katie Tyler has been meeting some of the artists there.
I'm going local, but I'm on a roll. Stuck in slow-mo, ducking away from Popo. When I make it, I don't know both.
My name's Kate Kane, I'm 17 and I'm from Reading, UK.
This rap shit is a passion, got 21 flows on my savage. Look at the hit.
I've been involved with Readipop for roughly about a year now. I was submitted to them when I was in secondary school, but due to COVID-19 we wasn't able to communicate until after the lockdown happened. So they brought me to the new studio and we started working from there, just as doing one-to-one sessions.
Amazing. Tell me about the music that you make.
So I used to rap when I was younger. I fell in love with the UK rap scene when it became something, roughly in about 2016, 2018, like during them times. And I just used to take over people's lyrics and just write over them or remix stuff to instrumentals I enjoyed. But my favourite style has always been that more type of American melodic, like harmonic type of things. And I grew up listening to so much music. My dad did music his whole life. He used to make me, it's like talking to the microphone at the age of 2, doing stuff with him and stuff. So it's like music's been very cultural and quite big in my family. So yeah, so then I started doing UK rap, and yeah, now I'm doing a bit more of a melodic style, but I'm just trying to find new things and just try new things and just have fun with it.
Cool. So tonight we're at Access All Areas. What sort of stuff do you do when you're here?
Tonight, on a Friday session, it starts at about 6 until 8. And what we would do is there's 2 rooms. There's the band room and then there's the studio room. And a few of us in there, we kind of all choose an instrumental or we make one together. And then we, just sit there, make a beat together, talk about ideas. It bounce off each other, and then we get in the booth. And then we just have a little play around with it. It's quite it's just letting everyone have a go. So people who are new to making music, who just want to try it, we kind of make sure everyone can do stuff. So we'll kind of have a little project at the start in the studio room, and then we'll go on to then progressing it, and then hopefully having a final product by the end of it, and just having quite a bit of fun, and it just distracts kids from doing other things outside that they shouldn't be up to at their age and stuff, and it gives them kind of motivation to stick towards music, and it shows them that music can be good fun and stuff, so it's good. Right at the end we go to listen to each other's stuff, so we'll be in the studio room, listen to what everyone's done, then we'll go to the band room and then swap and vice versa and stuff.
So cool. And I mean, you've done loads of amazing stuff with Readipop. You performed at Readipop Festival this year. How was that?
Readipop Festival was wicked. It was in July. It was my second ever performance, but it was my first ever festival performance, and for my first time I believe I did quite well. I enjoyed it a lot. It kind of shows me and made me more motivated to keep going with music, because I've been doing music for years, so being able to actually be stood on a stage and finally perform somewhere in front, there was like a good 100 people in my crowd as well, so it was like to actually see people and have cameras pointing at me, and I was just like, cool, they're actually here to watch me. And I had people coming up to me straight afterwards, like loads of people talking about how they enjoyed it, and after every song I got people screaming at me, so I was like, yeah man, that's pretty sick. So I enjoyed it. It was wicked.
Describe, how do you feel when you're making music, when you're performing music? How does that make you feel?
When I'm performing music, I'm in a whole different element. It's like being blacking out and just slipping into like a black hole and going away for a minute. It takes me, because music's always been my distraction, so if I'm feeling down or anything, I just make music. I walked around to my school singing music around the corridor, and people would laugh at me my entire however many years I started doing it. And now in college, they see me making music with Readipop and making good enough songs for them to be like, this is good, you're actually doing stuff.
Amazing to hear how your money's spent. More about Readipop and the projects that they're able to do there because of Children in Need donations on the way. If you are raising money for us, if you're with an organisation that's been supported by Children in Need, get yourself on the show in the next few days. Call us now on 0808 100 5100. Over the next few days, we're going to spend a fair bit of time looking at the organisations around here doing great work, supported by your donations to BBC Children in Need over the years. Children in Need is next week. Lots of fundraising going on. We'd like to mention that too. 0808 100 5100. One of the organisations is Readipop, which is a musical charity in Reading. They do a Friday night music club. And Katie Tyler's been talking to Tim, who's 16 and goes along.
My dad got me into it, so I kind of just went along, asked the school to fund me towards it, and I kind of just started going from there. So I went in the little studio and started recording, had Abby for my one-to-one session, then it switched over to Harrison, kind of went from there.
Nice. And you've walked into the room with some drumsticks, Tim, so can I guess that you're a drummer?
I play all instruments.
All instruments? You're making me feel bad here. What instruments do you play?
Guitar, bass, piano. I play drums, I sing, produce, basically most of it.
Many, many talents. Do you have a favourite out of all these instruments?
Well, if it's like physical instruments, drums. If it's other ones, then it's singing.
Nice. And so you're here tonight for Access All Areas. What sort of stuff do you get up to on a Friday night?
I kind of just go here and, talk to my mates and have a blast, really.
Yeah, is it like, do you jam with your mates on a Friday night?
Normally, yeah.
And what do you love about coming here on a Friday?
Just like talking to everyone, seeing how everyone is, and normally just, have a laugh, make songs. That's kind of what I've always liked doing.
When it comes to making songs, what's your favourite part about that process?
Maybe the mixing, really, because then we go through all the random stuff that we've recorded, and sometimes we say stupid stuff, and it's kind of just funny because it's just there, and then we normally clip it out and just put it at the end of the song, and it's just like we all go through the whole song, we hear it, and we all just start laughing.
It sounds really, really fun. How do you feel when you're here on a Friday?
Happy, really. Just I get to get out of the house, have fun. That's normally it.
And you're obviously a person of many talents. Do you see yourself doing more with music in the future?
Obviously, yeah. That's very much it, yeah.
What would you love to do?
Maybe have a musician, sing in a crowd, and have people remember the words that I wrote. It's kind of something I've always dreamed of.
Readipop, one of the charities supported by BBC Children in Need. More to come. 0808 100 5100, the number. It's Tuesday morning, 8th of November. It's the Andrew Peach Show, live till 10.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Berkshire.
and on your radio.
The sound of Berkshire is
BBC Radio Berkshire.